Little Sweet Potato by Amy Beth Bloom. Once upon a time, there was a little sweet potato who lived in a garden patch where the earth was rich and brown and the air smelled sweet and spicy. He had never been anywhere else at all. Just as little sweet potato was beginning to get a peek at the world around him, there was a terrible quaking and shaking, and everyone in the garden patch held on to their vines for dear life. Little sweet potato got shaken loose and landed plop in the middle of a new and not so nice place. Where am I, he wondered, and how do I get back home? And how will I know home when I get there? There was no one to answer him. Little Sweet Potato pulled together all of his sweet potato courage and went rolling over to a garden patch at the edge of the road. "Excuse me," Little Sweet Potato said very politely. "Do I belong here?" This says carrots. They looked at him. They looked at one another. They fluffed their leafy green tops and wiggled their long orange bodies. "We think not," they said. "You are lumpy, dumpy, and we have to say it. You're bumpy. You don't belong here." Little Sweet Potato rolled away as quickly as he could. He didn't know the world had such mean vegetation in it. Trying to be brave, Little Sweet Potato rolled off to another patch, hoping things would be a little better and a little nicer. "Excuse me," said Little Sweet Potato. Do you think there might be a place for me in this garden?" They looked at him, and they looked at one another. "Well, let me think," the biggest rumbled. "Nope. See, we are handsome and purple with skin like satin. And the fact is, you are dumpy, bumpy, and kinda lumpy. What I'm trying to say, pal, is scram." And Little Sweet Potato rolled away. He didn't know the world had such scary vegetation in it. "I'm down, but I'm not out," Little Sweet Potato said bravely. And even though his feelings were mashed very soft and tender from all the rough handling, he rolled himself to the edge of another garden. "Excuse me," he said, "do you think maybe I could move in next to you?" "Oh my goodness," they giggled. Their long green arms covered their velvety blue and yellow faces. "Oh dear, we don't think so. You're not even a flower. You're a lumpy, bumpy, dumpy vegetable, and we're beautiful. No offense." They waved goodbye as Little Sweet Potato rolled off. The rest of the day was just as bad. Bunches of round fruit, shiny and bright as green marbles, told him to get lost. Pink and puffy and sweet-smelling flowers with soft petals and sharp stickers told him there was no room in their garden. Curvy, green-striped vegetables with bent necks and beautiful yellow flowers told him to shove off. "That's it," said Little Sweet Potato. "There's just no place for me. I'm all alone," he thought, and one big tear rolled down his dear, bumpy, sweet potato face. "Hey, you little sweet potato! Yeah, you bumpy, bumpalicious!" "Who, me?" Little Sweet Potato didn't know he was being called. Was he a sweet potato? Was he bumpalicious? You're sweet, you're neat, and you've got that gorgeous sunset color. You're a sweet potato. Now roll on over here." Little Sweet Potato did roll toward the voice, his little sweet potato heart beating fast. Hodgepodge patch, vacancy. "Excuse me," he said when he got to the patch. "What for? We're just so glad you found your way back home," said a lumpy, dumpy, and wonderfully bumpy sweet potato. World peas, the leek shall inherit the earth. "Home?" said Little Sweet Potato. He felt himself glowing as brightly as the sun. I'm Home? Absolutely, said the big, bumpy, and magnificently lumpy sweet potato. And in the world's greatest garden, with fruits and vegetables and some flowers so fancy, even I don't know what they are. Some of us just like their own kind, said one of the pansies very sweetly. But we're the kind that like all kinds. You're so nice, said little sweet potato. I met some flowers who looked just like you, but they weren't very nice. Some are, some aren't, said a friendly carrot. We are. That's just how it is, kid, said a gleaming eggplant. It's not all mulch and sunshine out there. Oh, I know, said little sweet potato. All kinds, said the big sweet potato. Teeny and tall, big and small, fat as a ball, and skinny as a stick. Of course, I happen to think lumpy, dumpy, and bumpy is especially nice. Me too, said little sweet potato. At least, he thought he said it. He was getting awfully sleepy. He rolled into the patch on a spot that seemed just the right size, little sweet potato size. He nestled into the rich brown earth and gazed at the sky and the trees and the vegetables and the flowers, and he settled down with a smile on his sweet potato face. How wonderful to be a sweet potato. How wonderful to be home at last. The end.